One of the keys to my success in life was I was able to see myself at the end of a very difficult task before I even started it. When I was 297, out of shape and afraid of water, I was able to see myself at graduation as a Navy SEAL. But as time went on, I kept on getting rolled back to day one. And every day got longer and longer. So what I had to do was I had to take this big chunk and make it small. So I became the master of the one day that I was living. We have to do that now. We don't know when the end is coming to this. So we got to master that one day. It may keep on getting pushed back day after day. If you master that day and want to be harder and stronger, you'll figure it out. You are your own hero. You are your own leader. You are your own master. And that is a big one because we idolize so many people and we want to be them. We want to be someone else. And in doing that, you lose all the potential of who you are. You mimic, you be them, you are them, you become them, and you lose you. And we look up to so many people in this world who will let us down. We're humans. I'm going to let you down. You're going to let somebody down. And you put them on a pedestal, you then lose time when that person comes up and lets you down. You must hold yourself accountable, and being your own hero, that's what that does. You make yourself so totally accountable for who you are. You focus on you and only on you to become the best person you could be for others. Because we leave a lot on the table, not searching who we are. And then therefore, you die not knowing your greatest potential.
Right.
Never pick the easy road. Never. Never. And it always goes back to kind of that hero mentality. Never pick the easy road. Ever in your life. That is the one road that is doomed. It is doomed. If you want something like 6-minute abs, all these different things, if you want it so fast, you may achieve what you wanted, but you want the permanent fix. The permanent fix comes from the hard road. The hard road gives you permanent results. The easy road gives you the quick fix. You will go back to where you started on the easy route. That hard route is so permanent that it ends up callousing you everywhere. Everywhere.
You keep a six-pack forever.
You keep it.
You keep it.
Because you know the work that goes into it.
Yeah.
When you get to where you want to go in life, when you finally get there, you finally reach that point, and you're there, and you're happy as hell, realize this: you're not there yet. When you get that feeling that you arrived, be afraid.
Right.
Be truly afraid, because now you start to do this.
Slowly die.
Slowly die. Either you're getting better or you're getting worse. You're not staying the same.
Yeah.
So when you get to where you think the journey is ended, and you're sitting back and you're like, I arrived, I'm on Mount Everest. I climbed 29,029.
Yeah.
The best thing to do is fall back down that damn mountain as fast as you can and start climbing.
Find the next climb.
Find the next climb.
Yeah.
No matter what you face, no matter how bad it is going to be, when there is a challenge, and by a challenge I mean anything in life, any challenge, anything that you're facing, the only way to overcome the challenges that you face is to start walking. Take that step every day, no matter what you are facing. Get up and start walking. Someone that overthinks things, they get analysis paralysis, right? They just start thinking and thinking and thinking. They're frozen from their own thoughts, too many thoughts. And so I thought these were good little factors here. And it basically, to me, it all boils down to actually fear. Because if you're thinking, then you're not taking action. And if you're not taking action, then there's no consequence. And if there's no consequence, then there's nothing to be afraid of. So I think that the overthinking can be an excuse for actual fear. And same thing with like, oh, I'm a perfectionist. That's also fear. It's fear of not being perfect. And then on top of that, low confidence. Well, if you have low confidence, guess what? You're afraid. Your confidence is low. You're not sure of yourself, so you sit around and think about doing it instead of actually doing it. And then anxiety. Well, yeah, anxiety actually is fear. You're afraid to do something. And then IQ. Now that might be, I guess, maybe someone has a high IQ and therefore they're thinking a lot. And maybe that's not fear. But let me ask you a question. If you're so smart, then why aren't you taking action and making something happen? So you've got a big IQ, that's no excuse to sit around and overthink things. Especially because if you're so smart, why can't you come up with a quick solution? Why can't you realize that overthinking is actually causing the problem harm? It's not moving the problem forward. So quit thinking so much and take action.
So a lot of you know that my knees are messed up, but that doesn't mean you don't stop going. You don't stop pushing. Life's about improvise, adapt, and overcome in every situation that's in front of you. A lot of people hate that message that I say continue pushing, continue finding your new 100%, continue finding your best self. If you don't like that message, this is not the place to be. I'm about people trying to find the best they have, not making excuses, overcoming any and all obstacles. So today, I can't run. I can't do much. But you can guarantee one thing. David Goggins got the after it. He got the after it. I don't give my knees don't work. I'll find something else that does. Ha ha! Stay hard. I came up with a thing called taking souls in my book. I started to devise ways to break a soul of a human being, of an object, of whatever's in front of me. If you keep on attacking something, nothing wants to stand in front of anything that is relentless. Nothing.
The taking soul part of the book is really interesting because you talked about like the mind shift that you had when you were in Buds.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's an intense part of the book.
It is. That's when a lot of stuff started clicking, man. I started watching those instructors on the side because there's 3 shifts. There's 8 instructors, 3 shifts. Because the guys going through Hell Week, they're up all day and all night for 130 hours. This is the promised land of mental hardening for me. I love this place. And you have the instructors who they've been there, done that. Now they're instructing you. So they do their 8-hour shift. They have their parkas on. It's usually cold, coffee, drinking their coffee. And they're beating the crap out of us. And when I started realizing, I started playing mind games. And I was like, you know what? I bet these are looking at us, judging themselves about when they were going through Hell Week. About, let me see, I'm looking at Goggins right now. I was better than him. I was better than that guy. I was better than that over there. And I was like, okay. You're going to judge me, right? All right. So what I started doing was I got my boat crew 2. It's in the book. It's a great, great story. I said, come here, guys.
You can't break boat crew 2.
You can't break boat crew 2. So it's Wednesday, and everybody's broken. Everybody's beat up, man. And like this, when you start moving like a robot. Everybody's like just trying to get through Hell Week now, and your energy's zapped. And they know Wednesday's like that over the hump.
I love that you talked about that in the book too, that they put it in your head that Wednesday you're going to be tired.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing. They tell you how you're supposed to feel, so you are feeling that way. I was like, don't let these tell you how you're supposed to feel. No, it's day 1, mother. This is hour 1. So I was getting my boat crew all jacked up. I said, we're going to take these mother souls. So when they had us doing this simple thing that guys are struggling with, boat crew 2 was just launching the boat and you're yelling, yeah, you can't hurt us. You can't hurt boat crew 2. And I looked on the instructors' faces and it looked like someone had just with their soul. And I looked at my guys in my boat crew and I said, hey, guess what? Those mother aren't tonight. We own space in their head. We own space. They're going to think about us tonight.
I don't think you need to be tough versus smart. I don't think it needs to be tough or smart. I think you need to be tough and smart.
Right.
I don't think those two traits are mutually exclusive at all. And being tough and being smart is actually what we want. So when we think of tough, I think we think of using blunt force to solve a problem. Right? And you might think that using blunt force to solve a problem is stupid. And at the same time, you might think that stepping back from a problem and taking a look or stepping back away from it might be giving up. So you're weak. Or you're not tough. But there are times when those options are the best options. There's sometimes when blunt force is the best option. And you just got to power through, and you got to be tough, and you got to get over the hurdle or over the obstacle or through the obstacle through blunt force trauma. And there's other times where the best possible thing you could do is step back and quit beating your head against the wall and trying to blunt force through something. You want to step back and find another way. You want to be smarter, not harder. And I think, again, this comes out to balance. And people pushing when it's a good time to push and a good time to be tough, and at the same time knowing that you need to balance that with being smart. And the only way you're going to be able to do that, the only way you're going to be able to figure out if you're just being too smart or not smart enough, or too tough or not tough enough, is to be able to detach and step back and look and assess the situation. If you get too in the weeds on it, you won't be able to see that, hey, you've beat your head against the wall 47 times. That's enough. Stop. Step back and find another way. Just like if you're so engrossed in solving the problem and finding the perfect solution and finding the least impact way through the smartest resolution, if you don't step back from that, you might not see that if you wait any longer on your brilliant plan, you're going to be overrun by the problem itself. So being smart and being tough are not mutually exclusive. You need to be both, and the way that you balance them is by stepping back, detaching, and always doing an assessment of what's happening. So who do I use as a standard to measure myself by? It's really everyone and no one. Because there's people in the world that have skills and strength and talent that I will never have. I won't. I mean, some of these notions that you can be whatever you want to be as long as you want it bad enough, those are not true. They're fairy tales. We all have limitations. And I don't have the right genes to be an Olympic weightlifting champion. I don't have the right genetics to be an Olympic champion sprinter or a gymnast or whatever sport you want to name. Now, sure, if I trained my whole life, perhaps I could have achieved some high level in those sports, but I can tell you I do not have the DNA to be the best in the world in those categories. So, what does that mean? Does that mean that I give up? Does that mean that I quit? Of course not. Not at all. It means that I'm going to try to be the best that I can be. The strongest, the fastest, the smartest human that I can become. That's what I'm going to go for. And I will compare myself to others and look at them and see what they're doing, and I'll say that it is possible. How close can I get to that greatness? How close can I get to that glory? But the reality is that my glory, it doesn't happen in front of a crowd. It doesn't happen in a stadium. It doesn't happen on a stage. There's no medals handed out. My glory happens in the darkness of the early morning, in solitude, alone, where I try. And I try, and I try again to be everything that I possibly can be. The best that I possibly can be. Better than I was yesterday. And better than other people thought I could be. Faster and stronger and smarter, and with one victory that no one can ever take away from me. A victory that is earned every single day. A victory of determination and will and discipline. And a victory that is achieved because I will not stop.
When I was in the military, I loved my schedule because I knew I had to be at work at 7 o'clock. So you better get your ass up at 4 o'clock, man. You got to get your shit in, brother. Because I had to get my shit before I got my shit.
Right.
You know? So that was my mentality back then, man. You know, like I had to get the miles and get everything in, man, and get to work, man. I'm competing with the alpha males. I was that guy who grinded. I grinded hard. I mean, I grinded hard. I was that guy who was up, like if we went on an op or we had a workup, let's say we had a workup, we were in an island, we're out there shooting guns and doing land warfare, and we did it till like 1 o'clock in the morning. Most everybody go to sleep. I didn't go to sleep. I went to the gym and I worked out. Or I go sleep, and let's say we'd be up at 5 o'clock. I was up at 4 o'clock and got my hour in. I made sure to always do that. When you're around alpha males, you're sometimes picking a fight, you know, all the time. And I look different, I acted different, I was different, I am different. I take a lot of pride in that. And so, you know, if you didn't get after it, I didn't respect you. Because I believe that, you know, where I'm at, I know that human potential is what we have. It's all we have. It's what the world sees us a certain way. And when I saw that people weren't doing that, I had a funky ass attitude. I come back from Ranger School a big time leader. I was a big time leader. I got honor man out there. I led by example. And what I realized a lot of times when you're in these schools, people want to graduate these schools because they suck. They don't want to ever go back to these schools. Those schools became my life. People don't want to see a guy that wants to go back to day one, week one of Navy SEAL training every day of your life. And that's how I live. And it's a disgusting human being that I can be. It is. And a lot of people didn't like me. A lot of people started some stupid and started saying this and that. The bottom line, man, is my resume says it all, man. My resume is out there. Google the motherfucker. You say whatever you want to say about me, man. I missed some deployments, man, for having, you know, 2 heart surgeries, and people try to start some rumors on me, man. You started rumors on me, man, because I fucking got after it. And real hard guys, like a guy named Hawk I talk to all the time. Yeah, he's a great friend of mine. When the heart's my first, before my heart surgery, my second heart surgery, I went on a 10-mile ruck run. Before my second heart surgery, the day of it, I went on a 10-mile ruck run, 50 pounds. I saw that guy. He's like, what the are you doing out here? We got heart surgery. It's roger that, brother. I'm getting it in before I'm gonna be out for about 6 months after the heart surgery. That was my mentality. Because I started realizing at a young age what I was leaving on the table. And once I found out what a human being's capable of, I didn't know how to control that. I was a you want to talk about a savage? That's what I was. I was a straight up. People talk about savage very lightly. I was from the backwoods motherfucking savage, dude. You know, and I told you what I thought. I had 8 chips on my shoulder. And a lot of times that wasn't great.
So is it a situation where, like with the SEALs, where once you've gotten through buds and once you've gotten through all the physically grueling parts of getting to be accepted, once you're in, then you were imposing standards that they didn't want to keep up with.
I would say some people. You
Some
know,
people.
I had one platoon that I had a problem with. You know, like I graduated Ranger School and I got in this platoon and I didn't see out of I was in charge of a PT program, and you put me in charge of the PT program is f your ass. And the thing about it is, I didn't like it either. I didn't want to do that either, man. But
What were you making them do?
like, you know, like it was some Navy, it was some budget. You know, we went back to buds, like, you know, log PTs and, you know, carrying logs over the berms and shit. Like, I had us do like pull-ups, rope climbs, pull-up like for like an hour. So imagine doing a rope climb, and then go over do like 10 to 15 pull-ups coming back. And we would do like these, they were very hard workouts. Like there was no like go to the gym, lift some weights type of shit. And I was imposing my own mentality on everybody. These are grown ass men. They know they don't want to be what I'm trying to make them to be. And when they called me off, like, hey, you know, we're not in SEAL, you know, we're not in buds anymore, Goggins, it pissed me off. And I got a little attitude, got my chip, and I got my ball, and me and Sledge went ahead and started to work out together. And we developed this, like, me and Sledge work out like animals, and we had this mentality of, fuck yeah, we're getting after it every day. And everybody else kind of did their own thing, man. And that's when I started looking at people, you know, not just SEALs, but people very differently, man, because I bit into, like, you know, like, to be the special operator, you got to have broken legs, and these guys, all those stories. I was the same guy, man. I put people on a pedestal. I put people, I can never be them. I can never be that guy, man. Never put anybody on a pedestal. That's what happened to me. I put them on a pedestal, and once I got up there with them and I saw them, and once again, not everybody. Some hard motherfuckers out there, dude. Period. Dot. Hard motherfuckers. I thought every motherfucker was hard. It ain't.
Uncommon amongst uncommon men.
That's all it was about for me, man. And I took it to another level, and I pissed a lot of motherfuckers off. And they were trying to find chinks in my armor then. They were trying to find chinks in my armor. You know, all he does is run. All he does is fucking run. That's why, you know, but once again, that's why I talk about the military too much. Like I said, the Air Force loved me. The Army guys I work with loved me. The Ranger School, all that stuff loved me. You know, I wasn't, you know, it's just what it is, man. I was part of the Navy SEALs. I was a team guy, but I wasn't part of the brotherhood. And that's just me, man. That's just me. You know, I think differently. I believe differently. And I believe strongly in what I believe in.
Well, some people must appreciate the fact that you were self-motivated and that you were pushing the envelope, that you were pushing the pace. You were setting a high bar.
All right, so Rome wasn't built in a day. We all know that. Everyone hears that. But Rome also didn't fall apart overnight either. It took hundreds of years for Rome to reach its peak, but it also took time, hundreds of years, for Rome to decay and fall apart. And that is representative of life, because you don't achieve worthwhile goals quickly or easily. They take time. They take struggle. They take relentless pursuit day in and day out. That's what it takes. But also, things don't usually fall apart quickly either. At least at first, it's a slow process. A little slip here, a little setback over there, a little wearing down of discipline and will over time. That's the thing. Success and failure are generally slow processes. Either slowly building things up or gradually tearing them down. And that's why I say you've got to pay attention. You have to watch. You have to watch every single second. Because those seconds, they turn into minutes. And minutes turn into hours, and hours turn into days, and days turn into years. And so, that second that just went by, that counted. And so did that second. And so did that one. And in those precious seconds, you were either building or you were decaying. You were either gaining ground or you were losing ground in that second. And in every second. Every second counts. So, make every second count. If you don't feel some kind of drive in your life, if you don't feel passionate about something, if you feel like you're wandering and meandering through the world, then it's time to assess. Then it's time to say, okay, what is my reason? What am I trying to do? What would I like to do in the world? Now we get something valuable here. We all know that you got to have a purpose. You all do got to have a reason. So if you feel yourself meandering down the path with no reason, no purpose, dig in and find one. I don't really like those words. Self-help or self-management or self-improvement. I don't really like what those words have come to mean these days. Because there's a lot of people out there that are constantly trying to improve themselves by looking for the one change. The one change, right? The one change in their life that's going to make their dreams come true. And even worse, on top of that, there's a lot of people out there, a lot of self-help gurus and these hyperactive motivational speakers and these other self-appointed modern Zen yoga warriors that they're trying to sell the one thing. They're trying to sell the 9 steps or the enlightened path that's going to allow you to unlock all of your human potential and fulfill the dreams so you can live the life that you've always wanted to live. Now, I'm no guru. And I definitely don't claim to be. I'm just a man. But I will tell you this. It isn't one thing. And it isn't 10 things. And it isn't 100 things. It isn't a quick path. And there are no shortcuts. Meditation won't get you there, and neither will a miracle drug or an organic supplement or some superfood. Getting better isn't a hack or a trick or a one change that you need to make. Getting better is a campaign. It's a campaign. It's a daily, a weekly, it's an hourly fight. An incessant fight that doesn't stop against weakness and against temptation and against laziness. It's a campaign of discipline. It's a campaign of hard work and dedication. It's waking up early and going to bed late and grinding out every second in between. Every single day. So, you want to get better? You want to self-improve? Stop looking for a shortcut and go find your alarm clock and find your discipline and find your guts and your passion and your drive and find your will.
That's